The S4x26 call for presentations is open now through August 31st. My name is Dale Peterson, and I'm going to use this video to give you tips on how to submit so you have the best chance on getting up on one of the three S4 stages. Now, I've got a top 10 list here. I'm going to go through them quickly. So if you only want to watch 3 minutes, you'll get the top 10. And then I'm going to go through each of them in more detail. Number 1, don't overthink it. Just submit 2 or 3 paragraphs to info@s4xevents.com or at the submission type form link. 2, tell us what's new and important for the advanced OT security professional in your proposed session. Focused on what will or should happen in the next 1 to 3 years. Think future focused and what's new and important. 3, we evaluate the talks as they come in, so submit early. This will improve your chances. Number 4, if it's a great talk for other OT security events, there's a good chance it's not going to be accepted for S4. Number 5, the most common responses for submissions are: 1, this is kind of related to the previous one, good talk for most OT security events, not a fit for S4. 2, please clarify in 3 sentences or less what's new and important in your proposed session. 3, it might be a fit if you focused on this particular aspect. 4, it's not a fit, but have you considered this related issue? And 5, congratulations, you've been selected for the S4 stage. Number 6, we take great care of our speakers. We give you a detailed presentation review, stage info package, support from green room until you're done. We have hair and makeup. It's a multi-camera shoot. You will really enjoy your experience speaking at S4. 7, we don't do panels. And we rarely have program, initiative, standard sessions. We also rarely have lessons learned or good, bad, or ugly. 8, the main stage is for sessions for all attendees. Stage 2, technical deep dives, is for gory technical talks. And stage 3 is for talks related to a niche audience at S4. Number 9, performing at S4 includes a free ticket, speaker swag bag, video, and fame. And let us know if you're going to be personally out of pocket for expenses, if your company will not pay. And 10 is just a repeat of number 1. Don't overthink it. Just submit 2 or 3 paragraphs to info@s4xevents.com or use our type form. Okay, that's the top 10 list. Now, let me go through these in more detail. First, don't overthink it. A lot of times we'll get people that'll, spend hours and days trying to think of their proposal, and we'll get this 5-page proposal. It's not worth spending that much time. Just what are the key points? Send them to us in a couple of paragraphs, and we will review it very quickly and get you a response. I'd much rather have you send in 5 ideas for sessions in 2 or 3 paragraphs than some perfectly crafted CFP response. 2, this is probably the one where we have the biggest problem. We want to know what's new and important for the advanced OT security professional or early adopter in your session. So a typical response that we get to the CFP will be 6 paragraphs talking about basics about the OT security industry, how it's different from IT, how threats are rising, just kind of prologue. And then they might describe a specific problem. And then the last sentence is, and this is how we'll solve and in this presentation, we'll tell you how we solve this problem. Okay, that doesn't really help us, and that's almost always gets back one of the standard answers. What you really need to focus on is what's new and important in what you're going to present. You could actually submit a very good call for presentations response in one paragraph. If you have it that clear in your mind, it's more likely to be something we understand and accept. And the other thing why you want to keep it short is if you ask anyone who's spoken at S4, the response is we tend to be very interactive with these. So as we get, I'll talk about later, but rarely do you just hear us say yes or no. We'll come back with questions. So there's no, really, it's not worth your time to spend hours and hours on your response. Just submit something. We evaluate talks as they come in. So the call for presentations opened on June 16th, closes on August 31st. I will guarantee you that we will get close to 100 session presentation proposals coming in the last couple of days. Those have almost no chance of getting accepted. We have 60 speaking slots for the 3 stages, about. Probably by that mid-August, we'll have filled 50 of them. So now you have 100 or 200 proposed sessions trying to compete for 10 spots. Whereas if you submit it in June or early July, we don't have any of them set. And you'll have your best chance. In addition, there's often times where you'll submit something in late August and it's actually a good session, but we've already accepted 2 other sessions like it. So you might be blocked out that way. So early submission helps your chances. We'll get it in. We'll review it within a week. We'll give you an answer or some more questions. And even if you get a no, then you know, well, that didn't work. Let me try something else. It's actually very common, again, talk to past S4 speakers, that they submit 5 or 6 items before they get accepted. If it's a great talk for other OT security events, it likely isn't a fit for S4. Okay. Our target attendee and who we build the event for is the person that speaks at those other events, that knows the basics. So if this is something that's applicable to a 101 level or 201 level, no matter how well you present it, you'll get that response back that, and I'll just skip to this because that's our most common response, is good talk for most OT security events, but not for S4. And don't take this as a negative. I mean that. It could be an excellent talk. There could be 90% of the community that needs to hear that talk, but the 10% we target for S4, they're going to say, yeah, we know that. Tell me something new. The second most common response we'll get is, please clarify in 3 sentences or less what's new and important in your proposed session. We send that out a lot because we get this long thing and we still can't figure out what's new and important. So really focus on that. If you include nothing else in your pitch, hit those 2 marks and that'll improve your chances of getting in. One that's common and I really think differentiates us a little bit is we'll often get these very broad presentations, but there might be a sentence in that response that we say, ooh, that's interesting. I haven't heard anyone say that before, or that's a different twist on it. So we'll often go back and say, what you submitted isn't a fit, but this one part could be a fit. Can you expand on that? And we might even suggest some things. And this didn't make the top 10 list. It probably should have. But this points to you're better off in general. There are exceptions, but you're better off going narrow and deep than broad-based. If you're speaking in platitudes, it's unlikely to be accepted. The fourth most common response would be, it's not a fit, but have you considered this? So you might not have even mentioned anything in your talk that we can put on stage, but we might say, well, this person is in this industry and they're talking about this. Maybe they know something about this. So occasionally we'll suggest that. And we do actually hunt for talks too. So there's some talks we know we want, and we go out to various people and say, is this a fit for you? And the fifth, and probably least common response, is congratulations, you've been selected for the S4 stage. Now, I don't say that to discourage you. We are always looking for new speakers. In fact, we don't generally allow people to speak 2 years in a row. We prioritize getting new people on stage. So if you haven't been on the S4 stage, you actually have a better chance when you submit to this call for presentations. But really what we find is rarely is the CFP response exactly what we want on stage. I would say that's maybe 20% of the time, and the other 80% are either sessions we've hunted down or more commonly something that was submitted and we went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and we said, okay, yeah, that's an S4 talk. I think that'll be great. Number 6, we take great care of our speakers. And I highly encourage you, if you know someone who's spoken at S4 in the last 5 years, talk to them. We try to make your life great, all the way from preparing for it, before the speech, during the speech, and after the speech. We take really good care of you. I mean, all the way, I think we're one of the few ones that have a really nice green room. We have hair and makeup, so you look great under those bright lights. We have a stage manager who gives you a brief and is right there when you get off stage. We will take great care of you. We will do everything we can to make your session be a huge success for you. And also to help it make the impact on the community that you want. Because that's really what S4 is about, creating the future, our tagline. 7, we don't do panels. We get a lot of requests every year. We put this in the video all the time. People will say, oh, I'll invite these 3 or 4 people to the panel. We don't do panels, with very, very rare exceptions. You're going to be able to find a couple over the years, but usually those are ones we just can't say no to. And the reason we don't do panels is they're so hard to do well. You need the moderator and all the guests on the panel to do well. The bigger the panel, the harder it is to do well. And I say that as someone who has been on many, many bad panels. You know, sometimes I'll walk off the stage and I'll say, oh, that was awful, and I was part of it. We don't do that. So don't suggest a panel. And we rarely have program or initiative or standard sessions. So this would be, let's say, the EISAC or some part of the federal government or someone else has this new program called Project So-and-so. And then they get up and they say, this is what it is. This is its purpose. Here's where we meet. Here's what our output is, that sort of thing. We don't do a lot of those. The exception would be if it's something really bleeding edge. Like we did MITRE's attack for ICS years before it came out. But we didn't even consider it in recent years. So I don't want to say don't submit it, but unless it's bleeding edge, you're probably not going to get in. The same with lessons learned. If it's lessons learned about remote access, you know, probably not going to take that. You'd be better off trying to say, what is the key element in remote access that everyone else is getting wrong or that we think differently about, and submitting that. And also kind of the classic good, bad, and ugly. So anything that you see as kind of a classic presentation, less likely to be accepted. We have 3 stages at S4. The main stage, that is the biggest stage, and it's for all attendees. Stage 2, technical deep dives. This is the heritage of S4. We started as a highly technical event. So this is gory technical details. You literally cannot get too deep in this one. So this is an important area where you want to get really deep and narrow. Try not to do wide, and focus on a specific technical point you're trying to make. Again, overview presentations here aren't going to do it. A lot of people come to S4 just for stage 2, and they want things they can't see at any other conference. So this is where you let your gory technical geek persona come out. We want it there. And then stage 3 is for anything else. Typically, these are niche presentations. things that maybe wouldn't be of interest to all the audience, but would be of great interest to maybe a third of the audience. So those are the three stages. You can suggest what stage you want to present on. We may say, well, it's not a main stage session, but it could be a stage 3 session, or no, this you submitted at stage 3, but this would really be a great stage 2 session. So don't worry too much about it. If you are performing at S4, so if you are a speaker, or as we say, a performer, you get the free ticket, of course. You get a speaker swag bag, which is really nice. I don't know if you've seen the performer vests or the backpacks and other things, the $100 gift card. We put a lot into that. You get a great video, a multi-camera shoot, and to a certain amount fame. And this could be fame for your personal brand. A lot of people became noticed and really kind of launched their public persona at S4. Or maybe more importantly, for your cause. We've had a lot of causes launched at S4, whether it be the PLC Top 20, ICS for ICS, Insecure by Design. I mean, all sorts of things. If you want a group of people to take your idea and potentially run with it, this is the place to be. This is where you get early adopters, people who don't fall back on this. It won't work in OT. They're more the people, oh, let's try that. That's interesting. If for some reason your company will not pay for you to come and speak at S4, let us know. We do have some speaker stipends, but a lot of times we get people from large companies coming to attend the event. They would not get a speaker stipend. But if you're personally going to be out of pocket and it's a great presentation, we'll make sure you can get there and you're not out of pocket. And lastly, I'm just going to go over it again. Don't overthink it. Just submit something, and we'll get you a quick answer. Yes, no, maybe, change this, possibly that. We'll get you an answer, and do it soon. I'm not going to go back through the whole list, but I do want to stress that the earlier you submit, the better your chances. So I hope that this video has helped you figure out how to submit. If you have any questions, you can always send them to info@s4xevents.com. And I hope that we will see you sometime soon on the S4 stage. Thanks. Bye.